Hello, this is Cherry Knit's video tutorial series geared towards learning how to knit colorwork mitts for the first time. This series is based on the Market Day mitts pattern, which I designed, but you can use any colorwork mitt to learn how to do this. Now, this tutorial is going to be focusing on the long tail cast on and twisted rib. If you don't know how to do those skills yet, continue on to the tutorial. And if you already know how to do them, then you can skip ahead to the next tutorial video.
For a long tail cast on, you'll want a very long tail, so make sure that you have one to begin with. Once you have that long tail, you will pinch that strand of yarn and form it into a little loop. With the long tail side, not the ball side, you will take that strand and push it through the loop, creating a slip knot. Once you pull it tight, you will have your slip knot ready to go, and then you can put that onto your needle. You will want it snug around the needle, so definitely pull it a little bit tight, not too tight. And then we can continue on with the long tail cast on. Now, this is oftentimes called a slingshot method, so it will look like a slingshot. But you can see here I have my long tail and my ball strand of yarn, both coming off of that needle, and we are going to use both for this. Grab both of those strands of yarn and hold them with your bottom two fingers. Then with your pointer finger and your thumb, you will tease apart those two strands of yarn. The ball of yarn should be on your pointer finger and the long tail should be on your thumb. Take your needle and go under that bottom strand on your thumb, over the top strand on your pointer finger, and then in between the two strands on your thumb. I will show you this here again. Go under the strand on your thumb, over the strand on your pointer finger, and between those two strands on your thumb. That is all that you have to do for a long tail cast on, and I will show you here approximately how much space I have between the stitches. We don't want them to be touching each other, but that is approximately how much space that I have. I'll go ahead and continue on with as many as I need and move on to the next step for you guys. Now let's go ahead and join ours in the round. I usually will take that extra tail on the end and tie it into a knot, because if you have never accidentally knit your tail of yarn instead of the ball, just know that it's really annoying and you'd have to start over. So honestly, I always tie it into a knot. Then I make sure that all of my stitches are facing inwards. This is just the easiest way for me to make sure that they're not going to be twisted. However you do that is best for you. That's totally fine. I'm showing you here what they would look like if they were twisted, and then we would have to completely start over again. So make sure that they're not twisted before you get started here. We are going to be doing twisted rib instead of regular rib. So what we will be doing for that is knitting through the back loop for one stitch and then doing a purl stitch. Here you can see that's knitting normally. We're not going to be doing that. Instead, we are going to knit through the back loop. You'll want this first stitch to be tighter than the rest of them, just keeping in mind that you are pushing two needles together that are trying to pull each other apart. And usually after like the second or third row, this goes away. So just keep that in mind that it's not going to be happening for forever, but you will do one knit through the back loop and then purl one. So here you can see that I'm knitting through the back loop one time, and then I will purl the next stitch. And you'll do that all the way around for a handful of rounds. I'm not going to say specific numbers in these videos just because I expect you to buy the tutorial if you want to know how to knit these mitts. These are just more so how to do the skills that I highlight in the actual pattern. So we're going to go ahead and do that all the way through the round. And then I'm going to show you what happens every single time that you join in the round. Now, if you get a little gap where you joined in the round, that is normal. I don't know how many times I re-knit that join in the round because I had a gap there, but it happens every single time. There is a way to get rid of it. So just keep that in mind if you have a small gap there, that it will go away. Do not fret about it whatsoever. Now I'm going to show you how to get rid of that gap. So we are going to finish our first round here, and you'll really be able to see that gap. We do not want to stretch it in any way, but I will show you how easy it is to get rid of it. So let me just take a minute and I will show you that. Here you can see where that gap is. And as soon as I pull on that tail on the end, that gap immediately disappears. I'm showing you that by pulling it in the certain direction, it will completely go away. So at the end of our project, when we weave our ends in, I will show you how to make sure that that gap will be gone, because that is ultimately what will make it go away. It will still be there while you knit it up until you actually weave that end in and anchor it in place.